Welcome to the I'm Healing podcast. I'm your host and healer, Iris L. Mendez of ILM Healing Solutions. Here, we review healing stories, self-inquiry, and solutions for the soul. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and be sure to follow us on Instagram at the I'm Healing podcast and at ILM_healing. Let's heal. Welcome to the I'm Healing podcast. I am your host and healer, Iris L. Mendez of ILM Healing Solutions. Thank you for being here. If you're catching this on YouTube, make sure that you like, subscribe. If you are listening to the podcast, go on and leave a review. Go on and subscribe and share. And so today I am super excited about our topic for today. The topic is on healing through dance. And I'm all for movement and healing through movement because we really store things in our body and our energetic vessel. And if you guys know me, then you know that I love to also dance. So today I have Real Rhythm Dance and Fitness, the founder, Marissa Tonge. She is here with us. I'm so excited. Marissa, let us know how we can find you and a little bit about who you are.
Hi, thanks for having me. First of all, I'm happy to be here. My name is Marissa. I am the owner of Real Rhythm Dance and Fitness. You guys can find me on Instagram at RissFitKitty. That's my personal account, RissFit Kitty. And then my business page is Real Rhythm Dance Fitness.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I always like to ask dancers, when did you first know that this was your passion? I'll share a little bit about my story because a lot of people don't know this, but growing up, I loved to dance and perform. My mom was like 6 years old with a little, this disc player that would play, old school tapes. And I had like one single on it, and I'd be listening to Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, and I'd be singing and dancing and performing. My cousins and I would also choreograph videos, different music all the time. And it was just amazing to see us come together, coordinate something. So I always thought I was going to be like an actress and a choreographer, but I didn't pursue it. So tell me, your story. How did you end up, how did you even end up with your business? There you go.
Yes, so I grew up around music. I have 5 siblings. They're all older than me. So I'm the youngest. So pretty much I would just grow up around whatever they played. My dad's from the island, so we listened to a lot of soca, reggae music. And I just remember always entertaining. When we had company, I'd be in the living room dancing and just putting on a show. And I did have a little group that I put together. It was so funny. It was me and my 2 best friends, and we used to put on shows in our basement, and my sister was the manager. And I remember once my sister she actually had a big part in my dance life and growing up, and she did talent shows in school, things like that. So she would ask me to be a part of her talent shows, and I remember coming in doing the Harlem Shake for one of her performances. It was so funny. And then from there, I was always in school musicals and school plays, and things really started taking off in high school. I started assisting in choreography for the school musicals, and it kind of just went from there. I actually took a little break from dancing after high school. I decided that basically I was going to go to school for musical theater. That was my thing. And my mom, she kind of talked me out of it. And, she's just kind of like, you got to think about your income and how you're going to support yourself and make money. So, I kind of felt discouraged, in that moment. So I kind of changed the direction, where I was going. And 2014, I came back to dance. I ended up teaching Zumba. So went from there.
That's so awesome. I love that story. And I love people's story when they have a passion for something, especially when they're young. And then somehow you end up kind of in the same area, like the same, even if it's, for some people, it might not specifically be the same thing, but just being able to tap back into your passions. So tell me, for you, how has dancing helped you heal? I know that you help a lot of women. I've seen your videos. You're not close enough for me to come to your classes, so I'm jealous because I really be wanting to go. And your videos are so professional. I just want to let y'all know, y'all need to follow her on YouTube. Y'all need to follow her on all the things and see her dance videos, because they're quality, they're amazing. Like, I love it. So tell me, how has dance helped in your healing, or how have you seen it helped other women in their healing?
First of all, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the shout out. And I always appreciate, like feedback on my videos and things like that. I really, like, that's something that I always, I put a lot of time and money into it. But, just getting like the right videographer has helped. I've been working with my videographer for like 6 years. So I'm super grateful for him. But with healing. So to be honest with you, like when I started teaching Zumba in 2014, for me it was more like a workout, it was more fun, it was more social. So, and I was also young. I think I started teaching Zumba when I was like 21, maybe 22. So, at 21, 22, you're just trying to live your best life. And, you're just thinking about like having fun and partying and things like that. And I didn't really get into thinking about healing or being on my healing journey probably until like my mid-20s. So, obviously, like once I started maturing, and then also I came across a format called Vixen Workout. And Vixen Workout was a little bit different from Zumba in the sense where it promoted more like empowerment for women. And it also talked about like the mental health side and the mental benefits and emotional benefits of dancing, not just the physical aspect. So once I started teaching Vixen, I really started, thinking more about like, oh yeah, you know what, I do feel better. I do feel, more clarity, after I'm working out. And then I started attracting all these women to my classes that were going through similar things that I was going through, whether it be relationship problems, whether it be family problems, whether it be, just stress from jobs. So I really started connecting more with women and really just like, sharing our stories with one another. So I really have to give it, a lot of, the healing and starting from there came from Vixen Workout. And then I kind of just, turned it into my own thing. And I started seeing more benefits when I started doing more of my own choreography and attracting like, a different crowd. So it's definitely been very, very helpful. Dance is like, a lot of people don't realize how healing dance is, but it really, really is. Like, and even when you talk about yoga, like just getting on the mat and just moving your body, like even if you don't make it to a dance class or you're not able to go out to a studio, like even just dancing in the house, that can help you, just shift your mood so much.
That's so true. And dance is so on my self-care toolkit. And I encourage my clients to get up and move and dance. For me personally, it's always been very, very soothing, and it's kind of like an energetic release. And then as I started my spiritual journey, we talk about the physical aspects or benefits of it. Like you said, there's mental, there's also emotional, but even from a spiritual level, like our ancestors danced. And so I will literally go outside, and I might look crazy to some people, but I'm just allowing my body to flow and move in whatever way, even if that's just doing a figure 8 with my hips. Dancing is literally healing. So if you guys follow me on Instagram or TikTok, you might at ILM healing. Oh, I'm sorry, at ILM_healing. You might see some moves. And for me, like, I just love dancing, and I encourage all of my clients because I think there's a confidence booster, and I think that's what I like about the Vixen workouts. I've done a few of them. I think that's how we met, was through Marianne, who's been on this podcast and she was doing Vixen at one point. And so I like the Vixen workouts or dance workouts, because it's almost like you're your performer. Like, you're up there, and like the concept is like you're Beyonce performing on stage. And I even had a recent client, right, where we worked together for maybe about 4 to 6 months, and then we transitioned out of healing coaching. And I remember her coming to me and telling me that she wanted to work on getting back to her inner child, getting back to the things that she normally used to like to do, like dancing and drawing and all of these things. And so we worked on some sacral chakra healing stuff and root work, because it comes from that area, the hips. Like, when you dance, you are working those chakras. And I recently just saw a video where it was like she was performing and things. And so for me, it was just like amazing to see someone go from tapping, not being able to tap back into that, to now finding, whether it's healing or whether it's empowerment, through dance. So I just want to share that, because like you may not hear this all the time, but even me just watching you dance on IG, when you pop up on my feed sometimes, it really makes me smile, and if I'm in a bad mood, it lifts me up. So just keep going, like, definitely keep going. I wanted to ask you also about, like, what are your self-care tips that you might have besides dancing? So what are some other things that you like to do?
First of all, that makes me really happy that, if you're scrolling and like you see my videos, like that's really the goal. That's the end goal. Like, part of it is like, yeah, I want to promote my classes and I want to get, content out there and all that. But like, to be able to like inspire and get people moving and get people like really wanting to move, to get up and dance, like that means a lot. So I appreciate that. So talking about self-care, my self-care toolkit. For me, so yoga is definitely on the top of the list. I got into yoga probably in like 2014, and ever since then, like, I've just been hooked. I haven't been able to go to a lot of in-person classes, in the past couple of years, but I do it at home, even if it's just 15-20 minutes during the day, like definitely morning, and then definitely I try to do a little like more of a stretching session in the evening before bed. That really just helps me relax and settle in, just tap into my body. Like you were saying, we hold a lot of stress and emotions in our hips. So hip openers are really, really important. And then also just, you notice too when you're doing yoga that you feel strong, you feel stronger. You're working on joint stability. There's so many benefits. So yoga is definitely on my list. I would say journaling for sure. I've been heavy on the journaling in the past year. Just being able to write out my emotions or my feelings, or, and I think with journaling, like, some people look at it and they think it's just like, you're just venting on a piece of paper, but you can write, the good things too. You don't have to journal just because you had a bad day. So just trying to journal, good days and bad days. I like to journal things that I'm grateful for, things that I'm looking forward to. So that's a big part of my self-care. What else? I would say putting my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Like I've really been tapping into that lately because, I'm sure as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, like it could be it could be a lot, you know, people constantly hitting up your phone. I posted something on my story last week. I hope no one got offended, but I wrote something like, you know, if you're, you know, just keep in mind when you're contacting business owners, if you're texting them past 8-9 p.m., you know, like, we might not answer, you know, so just give us space, give us grace. We're people too, you know, we have times that we want to shut out, you know, the outside world. So definitely just putting my phone on do not disturb and just taking time for me, putting my phone down, just trying to be present. What else? I really like massages. I try to do at least once a month, and I like deep tissue massages. I don't like, you know, I don't enjoy it too much, but it's really, really good. It has good benefits, and especially for me because I'm so active, deep tissue massages are really, really good. And what else?
You travel. I know that. And then we just had an episode with Aaliyah where she talked about healing through travel. So I definitely have seen some of your pictures. I'm jelly because there's some places that you gone to that I want to go to. You got a retreat coming up too, right? So tell us about that, how traveling has inspired your healing, and about your retreat also.
Yes, so I had went on actually my first solo trip last April, actually crazy, it's a year ago. So I decided, I always wanted to go to Arizona. I don't know, something in Arizona was just calling me, like the mountains, like just the sun, cactus, you know, like something in Arizona was just calling me. And I had tried to go maybe in like 2018 or 2019, and my friend, you know, she wasn't able to get off work, and I had never taken like a solo trip, you know, before. I always traveled with friends. So 2021 came, and, you know, after going through everything that we went through in 2020, I was just like, I'm out, you know, like I don't want to have to wait for anybody to go somewhere, to go on a trip that I really want to go on. And it's like, why not? So I booked the trip to Arizona. I stayed in Scottsdale. I took a day trip to Sedona, which I really, really recommend. And I really loved it. I just loved the whole experience. It was very peaceful. I don't know if you know, but apparently Sedona is one of like the vortexes in the world. So you definitely pick up on an energy. There's an energy out there. So wow. I cried. Yeah. So I cried when I was out there. I just felt like a release, but a good release. And I decided that I wanted to plan a retreat this year, and I had such, you know, an amazing time that I wanted to bring out, you know, a lot of these women that I work with, that I dance with, that, you know, I feel like they could benefit from the trip, and we could all just, you know, connect and get away from Jersey, you know, from reality for a couple of days. So yeah, so that's happening April 22nd to 25th, and I'm really excited.
So awesome. Jealous I couldn't come, but next time definitely we'll try to figure it out to count me in. I personally am a solo traveler. Like, I go to places where I pretty much know a lot of people in a lot of places. So I'll hit people, I'll be like, hey, I'm in town. But I'm more of I'm a travel alone. People don't know this about me. I may seem like I am the best extrovert out there, but I'm really an introvert. And I can't be in a like Airbnb with like 5 to 6 women, or even 3. It just sounds so externally stimulating for me that I need my breaks. I need my alone time. So I actually like to travel alone. So if anybody's listening, if you've never taken a solo travel trip, definitely go. Obviously be safe about it. You know, as women, we have to make sure we're being safe. I love it. So if anyone wanted to know about how to be a part of your retreat, if they're still able to be, or if they just wanted to come out to a dance class, let us know like how we can get that information.
Yeah, so you guys could go on my website, realrhythmdanceandfitness.com, and if you are interested in the retreat, I mean, we're very, very close to the time of the retreat, and registration is closing soon, but in case, anyone was interested in future trips, there are going to be future trips as well. This is one of many, I hope. But yeah, you can check out my website and you'll see the information for the trip. You'll also be able to book any classes. Right now, I'm not offering virtual classes. I'm only offering in person. I was doing virtual, during 2020, but I just decided that it just worked out better. For me, it's just a different energy in class that you can't get online, which I really just like. And then it was becoming, just a little bit of a headache to kind of try to do both at the same time and still keep the energy in the class. So if you are in Jersey or you're in New York or you're visiting Jersey, I welcome you guys to come try a class. I teach Vixen workout, as we were talking about it. I also teach a heels class, and I teach hip hop classes. And I also just got my certification for personal training. So I'm going to start training people. Yeah.
That's awesome. You're amazing. So if you want to check out her retreat, sign up before she closes that up. I want to ask you, what do you tell women, who maybe are in Jersey, and they want to come to a class? Like, what do you tell people in general when they say like, oh, I wish I can dance, but I don't have rhythm? Like, what do you say to people like that?
So I just say you really just have to get out of your comfort zone. It's really like, I always tell people, like, you're the one holding yourself back. Like, no one else is holding you back. No one else is judging you if you come inside a class. Like, no one is, I always tell people, like, this is not an audition for a Beyonce concert, like, no one is, writing down what steps you did wrong or anything like that. Like, it's really about just coming, having fun, connecting with your body, connecting with other women, just taking an hour to yourself, which could be really, really hard. And it sounds crazy because there's 24 hours in a day, and it's like, to get that 1 hour sometimes, especially for moms, can be really, really hard. So just, you kind of just have to work up the courage sometimes and just sign up and go, sign up and show up. And no one ever regrets coming to a class. Like, that's just not, sometimes, you might feel, there are people who come the first time and they're like, I was so bad, I was so horrible. But, I encourage them, like, everything takes time, everything takes practice. The same with, any craft, anything that you're putting time and effort to, you're not going to be an expert in one day. So being consistent is really important as well.
I love that. And I think that it's important for people to recognize when those, when it shows up where you're judging yourself, you're shaming yourself, all those things that show up. And I say this for people when they're on their mat, like what happens on the mat happens off the mat. And so I think it transfers into dance, because if you're in your head about how you look, if you're in your head about how other people are perceiving you or what you might look like to other people, or that you messed up or you missed the beat, 9 times out of 10, you're probably that critical about yourself in your real life. And it's like, how are you giving yourself, grace, compassion, like patience, all those things? So I think it's important for people to like step out of their shell. And for anybody who's listening who maybe have thought about trying a dance class, like, place your hand on your heart right now. You got a natural beat, literally, like within you. You know what I mean? The rhythm of your heart, literally. And I allow that to move me sometimes also. Sometimes we hear our own beat when we're laying down or we're taking deep breaths, or you might feel your heartbeat rhythm in other areas of your body, and we don't pay enough attention to like our own natural rhythm and beat. So I definitely want to encourage people to take your classes if you're in the North Jersey area. Follow her, watch her videos. I want to say I wish I had the moves she has, but I know that if I dedicated the time and practice that she has her entire life, I probably would too, especially if I would have pursued choreography. She and I actually did an interview on her IG, that was it last week? And so check that out, where I tell a little bit of my story about why I did not pursue choreography. So make sure you listen to that. She actually has some more meetings on her live every Wednesday for Women's Month. So make sure that you follow her so that you can catch her Women Crush Wednesday videos of empowering women that she's interviewing as well. So I have one last question for you. What does the word, I asked all my guests, what does the word healing mean to you, or what does it mean to heal?
So the word healing for me, I think it means taking the steps and the time to become the happiest version of yourself. And that is a process. Like, I am still not there, and I think a lot of people are not there. But I think taking tiny steps and being patient with yourself and giving yourself grace, and also coming to terms with things that you've dealt with, your past traumas. Healing is very ugly sometimes. We have to face things about ourselves. We have to face things about our past. We also really have to be intentional about what we want in life and realizing what we want for ourselves, who we want to be. So I think healing is just that in a nutshell. It's really a journey of just becoming, your best self and becoming your true self, your authentic self.
Love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you for sharing that. And so you guys heard it. Make sure you're following her at Real Rhythm Dance and Fitness. Make sure you try a dance class. Find a dance class in your area. It literally helps to heal all the bodies, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Speaking of healing the four bodies, grab my book, www.healingmyfourbodiesbook.com. I just went live prior to this recording on my IG, so make sure that you check out my IG where I have some book updates for those of you who have been inquiring if it's going to be on Amazon or if there's going to be an e-copy. Amazon is a question mark at this point because they take your coins when you distribute to them, and it really hurts an entrepreneur and a creator. And so for e-copies, no, because this is a workbook, you guys. WERK, like Rihanna. Work. So it's more of a book to read, but I do want to just share to some people who may be watching on YouTube. If you're not, I'm going to show some self-inquiry prompts that you'll see in the book, where the book will take you through all 4 of the bodies, and in the book you'll have space, or you can get a separate journal where you're going to be able to ask yourself these questions, these self-inquiry prompts related to how you can manifest like healing all 4 vessels: spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and mentally. So healingmyfourbodiesbook.com. I also want to say that the podcast just turned 2 as of the time this airs. So, thank you for rocking with me for 2 years. This was a COVID creation, and it really was at 3 a.m., the brink of the pandemic, when mandates happened. I felt my voice was needed in some way. So I was on Google in my closets trying to figure out how to start a podcast, because that's where I thought I needed to be in an enclosed space for the sound. So I literally was in my closet at 3 a.m. So we're almost at 1,000 streams, and I can't be grateful enough. Please review the podcast. We have over 12 reviews, 5 stars. Let's make that 1,000. Let's get to 1,000. Let's get to 2,000 streams by the end of this year. I really want to thank you, Marissa, for being here, and I want to thank all past guests. If you're interested in learning more about what I do, www.ilmhealingsoulutions.com. Make sure you follow the podcast at the I'm Healing Podcast. I was about to say my personal one, at the I'm Healing Podcast on IG. And I'm also now on TikTok Block. I have 100 followers already, y'all. So at ILM_healing. If there's nothing else that you want to share with, the listeners or the viewers, I really want to say thank you for being here. Oh, look at the doggy on the screen. She's got a special guest. For those of you who are listening, she's got a dog on the screen. say anything. Let them know where to find you once more.
I want to thank you so much for having me on. Thank you so much. This was a really good conversation, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading your book as well. And yeah, I just want to send some love to you guys and just motivate you guys to get moving. Really, like it takes you to want to do it, to get moving. So nobody's gonna push you, nobody's gonna do it for you. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
I love that. And I've been watching, she's got some awesome decor, y'all. So I'm not stalking you, I promise. You got some awesome decor behind you. And I want to leave y'all with this last quote. It says, good things come to those who hustle. But I want to say those good things come to those who hustle and heal, y'all. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's heal. Thank you for being here. Namaste. Bye.
Thank you. Namaste. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the I'm Healing podcast. I'm your host and healer, Iris L. Mendez of ILM Healing Solutions. Here we review all healing, stories, self-inquiry, and solutions for the soul. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Happy healing.